Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me, especially on a horrible night. But then what more could you do? What better entertainment could you have than coming to join me? I think I said to you that we were going to do a little bit of embossing. So wet embossing is what I would call it. And I found a really lovely stamp to do that with. So I think it would be ideal to start right from the beginning with this one to show you exactly how what we call wet embossing is all about. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to make it using the Wow embossing pad. So what that is a very sticky, clear, sometimes called a watermark. It is an embossing, so just gives you a sort of the same colour, but it's perfect for adding embossing powder to it. Now, I've got the Wow one here, but I also use Watermark. Tim Holtz do one. Oh, lots of people do them, but that's the one that I'm going to use today. So that's what that's called. This is the embossing powder that I'm going to use with it. So this is Cosmic Shimmer, and this one is gold because I wanted to do it with gold today. And I think that it's important when you're trying to do an image like this. It's shining a bit there. That's better. If you're going to do an image like that, you really want it to be a detailed embossing powder. So you may have come across ultra thick embossing powder in the past, UTEE, and that will come as a very big grains to it. So if you look at this, you'll see that that is a very fine powder. And that's one I like to use. I also like to use, I must admit, in a larger pot. Not that I use a great deal of it, but it just makes it easier to decant back in. So that's what I'm using for that. I'm also using an anti-static bag. Keep mine in a little plastic bag. So that's sort of a little bag full of sort of cornstarch type of thing. And it stops all of the grease that you may have on your fingers and not even realise it from staying on your piece of card and then ruining your image, basically, because it will stick to anything. So that is what we're using for that as well. The stamp set that I'm going to use is this one, which is called Circle Deer by Jane Gill Woodware. So you've got the die itself, the stamp itself, and then you've got also a nice sentiment with it, Happy Christmas. So that's quite nice as well. And I will also be using the 5x7 easy frames. So that is these. They all look the same size when you put them on the computer here, but these are the ones that we have at the moment that are rectangular. We do have the larger ones coming, but they're not available at the moment. So they will be here on the 1st of October. But these are the ones that are available at the moment. And I say available at the moment, they have now gone back to pre-order. So I just can't keep up with the stock levels, which is fantastic. So thank you very much to all of you that have already purchased. But the easy frames are so easy that people are finding just how easy they are, and then hopefully passing on to your friends and telling you all about that as well. So if you haven't got your hands on a 5x7 set, then pop over to the website and pre-order them. They will be around about the 11th of October, so 2 weeks. And do remember, if you want to order them and order anything else, then if you order them all on the same order, they will come at the same time. So if there's pre-order stuff on with stuff that's already in stock, all of the stuff will be taken and put to one side until your pre-order is available, and then it will all be sent out to you together. So this is our lovely 5x7 frame. And I noticed a comment a little while ago about how someone said, I think it might have been Jeanette Morrison, but it might not have been. Someone said about making up a batch of them. So some in gold, some in silver. And I think that's a pretty good idea. So what I've done here is I've taken the satin gold at the back and done the larger die on that, and a simple white just for the smaller die, made up a frame so that that is all ready to go. This is a 5x7 card blank. And as we said before, all the frames have been designed so that they actually fit within the card. No good making a 5x7 card a 5x7 frame and make it 5x7, when you then go to put it on a card, it's not going to fit because it's going to be the exact size that the card is, and that ain't no good. So that's what we've done. And I have, as I said, already pre-made that. And then the waste from this piece, so this piece of white card here, I have saved this white inner piece that has fallen out for that to do my stamping on. So it really is a very economical way of using your card. So yeah, okay, so let's have a go at now stamping. Now that one is a pristine one as opposed to the one that I have already been using. So let's pop that to one side. So first of all, I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I've got my piece of card there that, as I said, was the waste from the center. So that's all ready to go. And I'm going to pop it up, as I always do, right in the top left-hand corner where there is an actual stop, if you see what I mean, by using that frame. I will put in a magnet just to hold it in place, but I am not a lover myself of magnets because they tend to get in the way sometimes, and I really don't want that to happen. So I may well take it off before I even do it. So what do we need to do first? So we need to prepare our piece of card. Although it looks pretty clean, I will have almost definitely had my little grubby mitts all over it. So I'm going to take my anti-static bag, and as I said, it's just a bag that's got some sort of cornstarch or something or other inside it, and then I'm just going to rub that over the outside so that we have got it nice and clean surface to work on. Then I'm going to take my stamp. Now my stamp, I'm going to do this in two pieces really here. So I'm going to do not that, not drop it. So I'm just going to wipe over that again. So I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to place him very carefully into the middle here so that he is about right. Now, when we had the deer stamp before, you may recall that we had a musical deer, and I did that in black. So it was a solid, again, a bit like this in terms of the fact that it's a silhouette type thing. And I did it in black, which I think looks very, no, I didn't. I did it in sepia, didn't I? But that sort of solid colour I think looks really lovely. But this time I thought we'd have a go at the embossing. So I need to take my clear embossing pad. As I said, this one happens to be a wow, but it might not necessarily be. And I need to apply that to the surface of my stamp. Now, because there's quite a lot of solid pieces in there, I really want to make sure that I have applied this sticky ink pad as much as I possibly can. The downside of it is that it is a little bit difficult to tell that you have actually applied it all, so you just want to be extra specially careful with that. Pop that together, and then I'm going to pop that over there. Now I haven't taken it out because I'm being good. So I'm going to press down here, and hopefully you should be able to see whether you have pressed in all places. Not quite sure if you can see that, but if I hadn't pressed here, there would be like a little pocket of air type of thing. So just make sure that that is in all places. And then hopefully when I take that off, you should be able to see that the image is there already. But that is what they'd call a watermark image. I know I've got the camera. Sorry, let's put it over there. That's better. That's just a watermark image. So if that dried, it would dry like that, very, very faint. And sometimes if you wanted to do a sort of like a craft card and just do a water image on it, it would come out like that. Let it dry and it would not be sticky anymore. And that would also be lovely. But in this case, this is now a perfect piece for us to use our detailed embossing powder. And we're just going to sprinkle that over the top. So I'm just going to pop that to one side a minute. And take, not that, where has it gone? Here we are. Take a piece of card that is just a scrap piece that I use for this type of thing, as you will see. pop that over the top and liberally sprinkle over my powder. It really doesn't matter that you put loads on. Far better to be over the top with it all, because any excess falls off and you can tip that straight back into your pot. And that's why, as I say, I like to have a large pot so it's easier to do. So we've got it all on there, as you can see, but we've also got far too much excess. So if we just gently tap it, obviously not tapping it where the image is, we'll just gently tap it. We've now then got a nice clear image ready to emboss. Now we do have to be a bit careful with this. We don't want to now put our fingers anywhere near there, but we're okay if we put our fingers on the edge at this stage. So we just want to make sure that we're not going to touch any of this. So I'm just going to now scoop this up. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm just going to scoop this up and pop this into here. So all of my waste goes straight back into the pot. And, you know, as I said, I've had this for ages and it just doesn't seem to ever go anywhere. So it's a really good value pot, but I just like having a larger surface to be able to pour it back into. So I'm going to take my little image here and I'm going to hold it with one of my handy clips just on the side there so that I'm not going to get burnt fingers. And I'm going to take my embossing, I'm going to turn it on in the background. So hopefully it's not going to make it too noisy. Can you still hear me? Yeah. It's a Wow dual temperature heat gun, but I've nearly always putting it on the high heat because I want it to sort of go quickly. You can still hear, that's good. I'm just waiting till it gets up to heat, and as they say, the trouble is if you don't wait till it gets up to heat, then unfortunately what happens is the card will warp very, very easily and you end up with a really bowed piece of card. So we don't want that. So just going to bring this in. I'm just going to gently do that from both sides. Just stop it from going. So I'm warming up the piece of card really. And then one hopes all of a sudden you will suddenly see that it starts, hopefully you can see that it starts to melt. And the magic starts to go through. So we simply just move over, don't stay in the place too long because otherwise the powder will burn. Just make sure you've got all the bits. Whoops, turn that off. So when I say make sure you've got all the bits, when you then look at it, you should be able to see that all of that is glinting. Yeah, so all of that is done. And if you have got any areas on your stamp that still look a bit dull, that means that you haven't melted that bit and that you need to get it going again. And you just get your heat gun again. Don't touch it because that will mean that you'll move the powder. So don't touch it, just actually go out there and have another go at it. So I think that he looks rather yummy. And again, a really, really simple card. So we've then got our frame. Okay, so we can, in fact, we might do, pop our Happy Christmas up the top there. That would fit in quite nicely. Let's have a go. Can always make another one. Well, I was going to say if I mess it up, but I wouldn't do such a thing, would I? So, well, probably. I'll tell you what I will do, which is probably very ambitious, but I'd quite like to do an embossed word on this. I'm going to put it at the top. Hold on, let's just check that that's into position. No, it needs to be a bit higher. Sorry, I can't quite see from where I am. I need to sort of lean into it a little bit more, sorry. That looks better. So I'm just going to pick that up. Let's hold that down. This is possibly too ambitious, but bear with me. I need to first of all prepare it. So I'm just going to go over with my anti-static bag again. I'm then going to take my embossing, clear embossing pad, go with that again, and go over that so that I can pick up all the work, all the things. And again, you need that detail if you're doing sentiments, very much so. Otherwise, you're not going to get that full sort of word there. So carefully put that in. And as you can see, when I take it out, hopefully, that it's got the word on there. Okay. And why it's a bit dodgy is the fact that because I've put glue on here, obviously to dry it, it won't take a great deal of heat very happily. So that's why I'm wondering if I'm doing the right thing here, but whatever. So pop that on there. So I've now chucked my powder on there, taken off any excess. Just going to blow it a second. Just blow off the excess. You could always have a little paintbrush on there as well. So that always takes the excess off as well. Put the lid back on. And then, fortunately, my heat gun is already hot. So I'm just going to put it on again for a second just to really heat up. Because I don't want to go, as I said, because I've already glued this on, I don't want to go over this very, very much. So hopefully you can see that it's framed. I like that. Looks good. So we're going to pop our card together. I've got a 5x7 blank here, as always, because it was a pre-scored one. I'm just going to give it a really good crisp finish. I'm going to get my lovely, nearly called it an antelope, reindeer. And that's where we're going with, something like that. So really very, very simple. I'm going to pop some glue onto the back. She says. Hold on. I'm definitely going to pop some glue onto the back. And then put that into the centre. And before I actually go to really push it down, I just want to check that my deer is going to be in the right place. I want to bring him down a bit. There, I think that looks better. So I'm just going to carefully turn that over, give that a good press down. And of course, I do want to put some foam onto the back of my frame. So I'm going to do that. So I'm putting some 2mm foam onto my frame. And going to put that on all four edges. I always, if anything, overdo the frame as such, because I want to make sure that there's plenty on there. There's nothing worse than making a frame, and then if you are going to put foam on it, that the actual frame, you don't put enough foam, and then it starts to bow, and then all that lovely work that you've gone to the bother of just doesn't look right at all. So just going to remove the backing and add a little bit of extra glue onto there so that we can be sure that it sticks and it gets rid of any anti-static, and also has got just a little bit extra glue power. And then, oops, bring back my card, pop that into the centre like that. Okay, now you could leave it just like that, but I have already pre-cut out some gorgeous little holly leaves, which are actually part of a die set that I'm going to be using for my workshop, my online workshop on the 21st of October with my folks that join me there. And I just thought that this might look quite nice to go along the theme of all the holly and berries that are down here. It's shining back on us. To go along the theme of that, I just thought it might be quite nice to pop, whoops, a little bit of extra holly. I've got sticky fingers. A little bit of extra holly and berries down here. Now, supposedly the berries would be a different colour, but at the same time I thought that I don't want to start putting different colours on there. So I'm just going to grab myself a little bit of glue and then stick that one on there. Oops. And that one at an angle down here. And then I'm going to put, oh, can't even grab hold of it. Yet again, I've lost my sticky, oh, use the tweezers. I've lost my sticky, what's it called? Easy pick. I've lost it at the moment. So I'm going to pop that in that corner so that that is just, do I put one in the other corner? These are slightly smaller, these ones. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Do I put one in the other corner or not? Oh, thank you, Shirley. I think it just finishes it off quite nicely. I'm not quite sure whether to put one in that corner or not. Maybe even just like that. One is enough. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think that might be overkill, but they are really pretty. They're sort of like a really lovely, very deeply etched. So they're quite nice to put on there. So yeah, all right then, I'll listen to you and say, yeah, I've done that then. So there's another really quick card for you, using the easy frames, but using this beautiful circled ear, as it's called. And it would also look really lovely in the sepia colours like I did the other one, or just black. You could then change your colours for your frame to be obviously black and white, but you could also do like a deep midnight blue, which would look lovely. But it's quite nice when you've got a lot of cards that you want to do the same way. And now we've got the frames that are easy frames. We can easily make such a nice card with such ease. Ease. Yeah, easy peasy. So yes, I hope that it has helped you. I'd like you to put a thumbs up if it has, down here somewhere, down there. And if you would like any of the circled ears, I have all that are left. So whatever is there is the only things available, I'm afraid. So I do apologise if it's not. The frames themselves, if you don't have the 5x7s, which are the only rectangle ones that are available at the moment, the other one's coming out on the 1st of October, they are back onto a pre-order selection, I'm afraid. Just can't keep up with demand, which is brilliant, but do still keep, having a look and seeing all the different things that we are making with them, because they look great. So, oh yeah, big show. Gosh, I nearly forgot about that. Big show at Exeter. If there is anyone that's going and would like to meet up with everyone, unfortunately, we're not round that way. But if there is anyone, do pop a message onto the group page of maximumcrafts.com, because that would be good that you could then have a look. I nearly forgot that, didn't I? That's where you need to go. So all of the items that I've said about are available on maximumcrafts.com. Pop over. And there is also a Facebook page. And don't forget, you ought to be signed up to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss out anything that we have here. The light's shining on that. He's beautiful when I sit him up, but the light's shining on him. So, yeah. So, I will be back on Sunday, this Sunday, and with any luck, I may even get that. My intention to have the September Christmas card kit available for you. So fingers crossed that will be available, because I kind of forgot that we're already into October the next time round. So we don't want to miss out. So look out for the Maximum Crafts September Christmas card kit available hopefully on Sunday. If not, it will be wonderful, whatever it is. So thank you so much for joining me. Look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Take care. And so hold on, got to read the messages. Will I be getting any foam tape? Yes, I will. I shall write you down on the list to let you know when it's coming back in again, if that's okay. Have I missed out anything else that I'm supposed to be saying? Step away from the holly. I didn't want it in the top corner, Di. I didn't want it near my sentiment. But entirely up to you. Entirely up to you. Anyway, take care, everyone. Please don't go out if it's pouring with rain, even though I'm going to. And I will see you all very, very soon. Take care. Thank you for being with me. Bye.